All units, please respond. We got a 7467. Two idiots spilling the tea about their neighbors.
Welcome to episode 156.
Diddy Do It. There goes the neighborhood.
Hey, law-abiding bougie crew and incarcerated CRN trolls.
Got a question, a comment, or a buck wild neighbor stories? Hit us up on 239-300-7276.
Would you like to sponsor this show? If so, send us an email at info@crazyrichneighbors.com. And a big thank you to Podcast Junkie Studios right here in Boca Raton, Florida.
And don't forget to check out full episodes, okay, to see our muggy mugs.
And Benny Mon.
And Benji Mon, okay. On YouTube at Crazy Rich Neighbors. Hit that like button and do subscribe.
And comment. I love to read the comments.
Yes.
That was your line.
Disclaimer, you guys. This show is for entertainment purposes only.
Indeed.
Okay? These are merely our judgy, shallow thoughts and
right.
feelings based on new reports and
right.
courtroom documents and news headline grabbing news.
Which, if you didn't get it by the title, is all about Puff Daddy or Diddy or whatever
Brother
he's
love.
calling himself right now. He's currently on the lam, evading justice. God only knows where he is.
Yes, child. This is for entertainment purposes only. Don't
Correct.
come for us.
We are not a legal team, but we are Cagney and Lacey version 2.0.
Yes.
So grab your popcorn, your big drinkies, buckle up, strap in, because you're going to be on a roller coaster of a ride as we go through this whole Diddy scandal, the latest details, and, you know, there's no one crazier or richer than our neighbor in Miami, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever his name is.
Absolutely. It's a roundup of public violence, murder accusations, sexual battery, physical abuse, kidnapping, and now human trafficking, culminating with Homeland Security raiding his Miami, LA, and I think his New York estates. And it's just giving us the Epstein icks.
Epstein X, Peter Nagard
Yes. The Nickelodeon icks.
Leslie Wexman.
Did you watch Surviving Nickelodeon yet?
No.
Those
Don't.
poor kids.
No spoilers, please.
Okay, I haven't watched it yet either.
Okay, good. But yeah, I mean, the stuff that's
we
leaking
grew up
out.
on that stuff.
I'm a little older than you.
You didn't grow up on Nickelodeon or Nick at Night? No.
Let me tell you, I was a weird child, but it's so true to my character. On Saturday mornings, when everyone else was watching cartoons,
Yes.
I was watching at 10 a.m. CNN, and there was a show called Style with Elsa Clench.
What?
Where she took you to the runways of New York, London, and Tokyo.
Oh my God, girl, you were just destined for bougie-ish. Okay, are you serious?
Seriously.
God dang.
Hand to God.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
That is so
I was born an
cute.
adult, really.
Oh, I love that. I mean, past life regression, it would be very interesting. Have you done it? Have you been regressed?
I have. It was scary AF.
Oh, Lord. They probably need to go back further.
I don't want to do it again.
No?
No.
Did you believe what they said?
Here's the thing. So the woman, she was very good because she's also like a psychic and a medium, and other stuff she said was on point. So I have to believe her when she took me through the past life regression. So she lays you down, and we did it in our living room by the fireplace because that's a portal.
Yes.
And she takes you through this. She walks you through it. She instructs you. And then I started seeing like a memory of how I died.
What?
And then
But like, how long did it take you to get that relaxed? Like, were you in a trance?
not long at all. That's the
Did
weird
she
thing.
hypnotize you?
Not like in the traditional sense, but here's the thing. I'm sobbing.
What?
Right.
Like after minutes?
After minutes, I'm seeing like myself, it was like the day after I died. And
Ugh.
I mean, it was just fucking crazy. It was a long, long time ago.
Wow.
You're either in like Ireland or England because it was like rolling hills and cloudy skies and whatever. And I'm just sobbing. So where did that emotion come from?
Oh my, I know. Like right away. Did she go like 3, 2, 1 or 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4? Did she count you down?
She didn't count me down, but she eventually, like after I kind of saw everything and relayed it,
It's amazing.
I got, then it was like, clearly this is done. And she brought me out of it, but I don't remember how. This is like, I mean, it could have been almost 15 years ago. It was
Wow.
before I knew you.
Was your hubby home?
No, he was on a business trip.
Oh my God, but I love it how he's like home and so into all of this stuff. Like
But-
when I came there to balance your chakras with all
Oh,
of these like tuning
he's down,
forks, and he
child.
was like, "What's going on? You're eating a sandwich."
That same medium, we want her in an auction to come to our house and do like readings for 12 people. This was before I knew you because obviously you would have been there.
Oh
So
my
like he knew her.
God.
She did a reading for him.
Wow.
So he's so used to this shit.
yeah, he's into that. Plus, he's you know he's from the
chill.
land of the mystics.
Yeah, and the
Ireland. They
fairy
have a
forts
lot-
and all of that
Yes,
stuff. So
Yes.
hey, Benjamin.
Hey, Betty.
Hey, what's up, you guys?
Good.
Oh, well, we're happy to be here, and you're going to pipe in and chime in on all this Diddy nonsense
Yes.
because
Yes.
this ish is bananas.
I actually don't really know too much, so
Okay,
I'm very yeah. I need
Strap
Have you
to.
seen
in.
it?
No, I am so
Oh,
excited to.
Ben.
And where have you been under a rock?
I've been waiting for you, ladies.
Oh,
you are my tea. You guys are my
Ooh.
tea.
We're your aunties. We're your...
Yes, with a hot tea.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the story is pretty much inescapable.
It's everywhere across the news. Like his houses were raided by Homeland Security. Like his sons and the boys, they're like, I think
Young men.
Yeah, young men. They were like handcuffed.
What?
They recovered all this stuff from his home. But
Wow.
people are saying like he had recordings in every single room. He recorded everything, and they think it's like for blackmails for the higher ups, just in case he goes down. And I don't know. That's what people were saying. Like they went to cover for prominent people.
In addition to that, I also heard that they used that, allegedly, to blackmail people within the music business.
Oh, to come clean.
Or just to do whatever they want. You know, like you have
There's
to
a lot of
wonder
shady-ish.
when you see some strong men like Drake and others so feminized in social media. Like
I know. It's like a ritual.
I feel like, yeah,
Did you-
there's some stakes that are behind
Something,
that.
right? Like look at John Cena. Did you guys see him
Yes.
at the Oscars?
Yeah.
Like with no clothes on? Like listen, we are not homophobic. We
Not
love
at
the
all.
gays. And
I have a gay
our-
husband. I mean, not my real husband, but my friend. You know Dan.
Yes, and he is lovely as all hell.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's just odd when all of a sudden you see like these men just
Be feminized.
yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
Like LeBron James
and
in
they're in
a pink
dresses
skirt.
and skirts,
Harry
I know.
Styles, but he's a pixie kid.
Well, that
so
I sort of get,
that
but
I get.
Drake, come on.
I know. Yeah, it's weird, you guys.
So we're going to delve really deep into this
I know.
on this episode. But first, because y'all can't listen to this sober, we're going to have a cocktail of the week. No a coincidence. It's using Ciroc.
Yes.
Diddy go need some legal money.
Yeah, no, child. We are honoring Ciroc because they did the right thing and kicked his butt to the curb as soon
Yeah.
as the Cassie lawsuit broke, okay?
Did not know that, but good.
Yes, honey. So this drink, courtesy of Ciroc.com, is called Naughty and Nice in honor of Diddy, who went on a rebrand campaign right before the Cassie lawsuit broke and preaching to the masses about love, light, changing his moniker from Diddy to Brother Love.
Oh, I didn't know that
He had
either.
another baby that he named Love, like I think his sixth kid. And he also dropped a new album entitled The Love Album, acting all nice, trying to atone for the crap storm that was brewing from his decades-long run of alleged naughty, nasty, depraved criminal behavior. Okay, so this drinky poo is sharp and fruity, and it is created with Ciroc French vanilla and pink grapefruit juice.
So to make this at home, I just say measure with your hearts, people.
Yes.
Because the world's an awful place. You're going to need some Ciroc French vanilla, pink grapefruit juice, honey, ginger cordial, French dessert wine. Now that I'm guessing would be a Sauterne, and then some sparkling water. So again, measure with your hearts.
Yes.
Pour them all into a glass with ice. Stir until mixed and well chilled. Garnish with as much color as possible using grapes, orange zest studded with cloves and local fragrant herbs.
Yum. And I do love Ciroc. It's good. It's a good shooting vodka. It's a little bit sweet, but it's good for taking like shots.
I like it. You know, my husband and I are gluten-free. He's very like sensitive to spirits, so he really doesn't drink them, whereas I'm okay. But Ciroc is the only one, if he's going to have something, he would have because it's made of grapes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because you guys can do potato vodka too, right?
Yes, potato is fine as well.
Okay, I did not know that. But he is the wine connoisseur of all connoisseurs.
He is. Oh, so just a little scuttlebutt.
Uh-oh.
Shoot, I just forgot what I was going to say. Shoot, I had a neighborhood nugget.
Oh, no. Girl, we got lots of construction going on in our hood.
I can't stand it.
Oh, my God. But I'm glad that the vampire's tree, and why is it the only tree that died?
Good point.
Okay.
Just to back up, Bougie Crew, the vampire had a medjool palm tree, which is
beautiful medjool palms in our neighborhood.
really tall, really expensive. It got
Yes.
struck by lightning.
Ooh, that's what happened. And it never grew back. It never.
No, it died, girl.
Oh, so I saw those poor guys out there cutting that down. I'm like, please don't lose your lives. Like, please
I know.
don't.
Well, let me tell
it looked
you.
perilous.
When we had that storm, like 2 weekends ago, the top of that thing was crumbling
What?
and falling as I was walking the dog. I'm like dodging like these
I'm
bits.
glad before that like toppled over and like smashed somebody or hit somebody's
No.
car or something.
I know.
Oh yes, child. Palm Beach County problems.
Cray. Shit, I forget what else I had, but
Yes.
it'll come to me.
But I see construction still going on at the end at the end of the
Well,
cul-de-sac.
now it's the house closest to the docks are getting a new roof.
Oh.
So that's the latest.
Okay.
The cuckoo guy, he still has a couple of workers around, but it's not as bad as it used to be. But I every day I have trouble getting out my driveway, and it's taking me
Oh
the
my
physic
gosh,
off.
the poor dancer. We love you, dancer.
Yes, queen.
And shout out to the watcher. Where are your little nasty love notes?
I saw her in her robe getting her garbage can.
Oh, good. You're spying on her now.
Yes, queen.
You've been spotted
Good
and
for the
outed.
ghost, good for the gan dress.
She always looks gorgeous.
Oh, she's beautiful. And the dancer says she says shies balls all the time because of
Oh,
us.
that is so cute.
I said, it's okay. You're still a lady. It's not really a swear word.
Yes, and shout out to Mrs. Gucci who said she loved our Palm Beach Famous Neighbors episode.
Yes, and welcome to all of our new YouTube followers. We just got a boatload in the last month.
What?
So welcome aboard,
What?
y'all. Welcome to the
Hey,
neighborhood.
People
Thanks for
want to
being
see
here.
our muggy mugs.
Because we're mean mugging half the time,
I
honey.
know. Okay, thank God we're doing like a hip hop episode, you guys. I was at the dentist and I thought I'd be able to go
Oops.
home and like freshen up and get all cute, but no, it didn't
you
happen.
still look
so
gorgeous.
sorry,
Even on your
child.
worst day, you
I
look
look
hot.
horrible. And
No,
shout
you
out to
don't.
Old Road Rum from St. Kitts. Yes, very beautiful Caribbean rum man.
Delicious.
Yes. So you guys, warning. The following Diddy content contains adult themes.
Indeed. So if y'all driving the Rugrats, pause and come back to
Yes.
us when the chitlins are gone.
Yes.
So we're going to get into Miami's most famous wacko of the week, our craziest, richest neighbor to date. And his extravagant lifestyle in South Florida is exemplified by his significant real estate investments on the uber bougie, so expensive, Star Island. It's so prestigious. So many famous people live there, such as Enrique Iglesias, Don Johnson, Rosie O'Donnell, Shaquille O'Neal, Rick Ross, and Philip Frost. That's just a few of the big names that live there.
Yes.
And in 2021, Diddy purchased Gloria Estefan's waterfront mansion on Star Island for a mere $35 million.
Oh, it's probably worth like, I don't know. probably
70?
Like, yeah.
Yeah. So it's 8,000 square feet of living space on 1.3 acres, which is a very large lot as well.
Yes.
Which is becoming harder and harder to find down here. It's got 6 bedrooms, probably all of them wired for video and sound.
Oh, yeah, every inch.
And 10 bathrooms spread across the main and the guest houses. This is what I wanted to say. So, you know how they're saying that he's probably had surveillance equipment installed?
Yes.
So, we know that the really crazy woman and her husband, what did we call them? Phyllis and whatever, the Schmittlers.
Yes.
Okay, so when they left, we know that new neighbor told us how much audio-visual surveillance equipment he
Oh.
took out of that house.
Yes. Could you imagine? For our little
A
hood?
whole dumpster full.
That's crazy.
Then there was the house that Kenny and Kathy used to live in. When they moved in, they removed tons and tons of camera equipment that focused on each room in the house because the woman who lived there had a boyfriend who worked for a big pharmaceutical company. He lived in one of the mansions on the ocean side, and he would freaking keep tabs on her.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
And not only that, the new guy who lives in the cul-de-sac who has all of those workers there, let me tell you, for weeks, the audio visual trucks have been in there.
I saw that.
For weeks, Mia.
But why though?
He must be installing some big-ass security camera
like,
system.
What the hell? I think these people are like paranoid because of their own personal lives. Like it cannot be literally what's going on in the home because it's probably he doesn't have a bunch of people in and out.
I don't know what's going on in his home, but in Kenny and Kathy's, because she told me it was like cameras.
I saw that.
Cameras in each room, looking at even bedrooms, looking at the woman who lived there.
Oh my God.
And the boyfriend would watch from his big mansion across the street.
Oh my God, that is just so
I don't know what this freak show's doing.
I know, but I think people get paranoid, you know? That's like the neighbor with the $30,000 German Shepherd trained dog. Like, what are you afraid of?
We know what he did. He scammed he was in the music business.
Yes.
And he scammed a lot of young artists.
Yes.
Out of a lot of money because he made a very one-sided contract with them.
Oh my God. Like nobody protected these young kids and nobody protected women. I mean, and this story just makes you think like what happened to the Shirley Temples, the Marilyn Monroes, the Liza Minnellis, these childhood actors and actresses like way back in the day. If we just got to the Me Too movement and now all this stuff is coming out, Epstein, Diddy, Nickelodeon, like it seems like Hollywood's crumbling and like the veil is being lifted on all of this.
And you know what you and I always say, like, oh, if we knew each other when we were in our 20s, we would have gone to Hollywood together.
Yes, I was Hollywood bound too. We would have done it.
We would have done it. We'd be on the downslide by now because we would be aging out. But
we would have had fillers from back then when fillers probably first came out.
What sexually would have happened to us?
Girl, nothing would have happened to us because, child, nothing.
I hope not.
I don't think so.
I mean, I was kind of naive. But I did have common sense.
I put myself in some dangerous situations throughout my adventures of life, but like I never came close to letting my guard down enough to let anybody. We would have looked out for each other.
I hope. Well, yeah, that. But like if we were alone, like.
But it seemed like it was par for the course. If you want to roll, you have to go and do some boom chicka wow wow, right?
Yeah.
And all of the best of them, from the Gwyneth Paltrow's down, the Halle Berry's down. The rumors are rampant about what they had to do.
Yes.
They said it.
Yes.
You know, so we might have had to, if we were starving, who knows?
I know.
We might have had to do something.
Well, look, you seen one, you seen them all, honestly.
But I don't know. I don't think we would have allowed each other to be like roofied and kidnapped and taken away. You know what I mean? We would have looked out for each other.
Yeah.
It would have been by consent.
Well,
that's my point.
Consent
that's
under
my
duress.
Point. You know, out of consent, out of desperation. Maybe we've just been eating sardines and we're like, dude, like one of us.
It's time for a sausage.
We need to.
Somebody eat sausage tonight.
One of us needs to land a commercial so we can eat. Your turn this month. I got it next month.
I mean, really, that's how that would have unfolded.
My thing, like, I'm not doubting that type of thing would have happened, but I'm saying nobody would have taken advantage of you or me. I'm not under our watch.
The terms would have had to be acceptable.
We would have been like, okay, we gotta just suck it up and swallow it.
Literally. Plus, really, like, how long does this shit last anyway? I mean, so you have a bad 5 minutes. I've been in meetings that lasted 4 hours that I want to kill myself through.
Oh, my God. Thank God we didn't go. Girl, we'd be so washed up, tired, and, stretched and plastic surgery and full of, like, you know how they said, like, Gen Z is aging so much faster than like millennials and Gen X because they start getting fillers and all this stuff done to their faces when they're like 17,
it bites
16.
You in the butt. It bites you
and by the time you hit 30 or even 27, 28, look at Kylie Jenner with all those fillers migrating around. Okay, if you start at 19, if you start at 17, 18, 19, and you keep piling in those fillers.
Well, they don't tell you that stuff moves.
I've seen some horror stories.
Well, but they should tell you, like.
But I didn't realize that it moved until just recently. We have some personal anecdotes that we've heard about. But I've seen it on social media too. Like someone's just like, oh, I just got some filler to fill in my laugh lines and look what happened. And it's like the face is like
Oh my God, you have to
melting
be so
wax.
careful.
But could you imagine if you start that when you're 17, 18, 19? If you start with the filler
social
then,
media, you know,
and then
these-
you have to keep adding
I know.
it. At least we started late, right?
Exactly. I
Back
didn't
in
start
the-
till my 40s.
Back in the day, like, you know, makeup when we were young and teenage years, like you put on a little mascara and you sneak on some lip gloss.
Right.
If you were lucky, you could get away with mascara. You know, these people on like full-blown weaves and fillers
First of all,
and
I
Botox.
didn't know how to do that when I was their age. Granted, we have YouTube now, but we didn't, you know.
My parents were so strict. Like, makeup?
I went to Catholic school till I was
I
till
know.
I was in high school. Like you
Mhm.
couldn't do
Yes.
that ish.
I was in private Christian school, child. Lipstick, chapstick wasn't even allowed, okay? They were exercising
Chapstick.
just demons out of people.
Well, then I'm a Jezebel, honey.
Like, skirts had to be, like, past the knees.
Oh my God,
It was
yeah.
like, woo, like a nunnery, honey.
I hear you, girl.
Anyway, child, back to Diddy, honey.
Chateau
and
Diddy.
Yes. So, you guys, in addition to that big manch, okay, this purchase that he made, Gloria Stefan's property, was adjacent to his already impressive estate, bought in 2023 for $14.5 million, which spans 19.5 thousand square feet with 9 bedrooms and 12 bathrooms and a swimming pool. So altogether he had what, 22 bedrooms?
That's a lot of cable.
Like how many? Oh my God.
A big bill with the
That's a lot.
surveillance
That's
installation.
a big compound, you guys.
I mean, this is so Epstein-esque.
Yes. Anyway, the collective properties highlight Diddy's penchant for
I love that
luxury
word.
and privacy in one of Miami's most coveted neighborhoods. Diddy's affinity for collecting estates is not just a display of wealth, but a passion, as evidenced by his rare glimpses into his Star Island mansion.
And when you're that rich, I mean, he's almost a billionaire, or he is a billionaire. I mean, that's just what you do.
Yes, I guess. But I mean, some
know?
billionaires, like what? Jimmy Buffett was a billionaire. He lived in his little old homes, right?
He had 5 Cavalier King Charles Spaniels.
Oh, and you know they bougie and need a lot of attention and love,
Gosh.
honey.
So despite a general property of keeping his residences private, he has shared that his mansion features floors from 1910's African railroad tracks, a baby grand piano adorned with 3 Grammys, thank you very much, and get this, a pool to fit 200 of your closest friends. Imagine the jizz in that thing.
Gross.
So this manch, according to Diddy, positions Star Island as Miami's answer to Bel Air, which I would agree with.
Yes.
Underscoring the exclusivity of his compound.
Yes, honey. So, I had some questions. I'm sure, I mean, well, Benny Benjamin says he didn't see it, so maybe some of our bougie crew, I think most of the world has
It's all
seen-
over X.
It is everywhere.
That's how I found
okay?
out.
I mean, you had the whole.
It was on all
It
the
was on
mainstream news
the
channels.
Fox cameras when they were invading, when Homeland Security was invading. The Fox News cameras caught it live and reporting live. I saw it on Fox actually.
Damn, I was
Live
on a
first.
business trip. I miss all the good ish.
It was everywhere.
Well,
honey.
TMZ got footage in his LA mansion after the search concluded, and it was frigic and ransacked. I don't know what it
Totally.
looked like before, obviously.
It was crazy, but the world was watching. Okay, and then his kids like tousled out with like their, sitting on the grass and like hands behind the back, and oh God, and he knew this was happening. Meanwhile, he was there. Anyway, let's get okay. First of all, you're an American, so my question is, right?
Yes, Queen.
What does it take for Homeland Security to come at that level to send in military style SWAT teams at multiple locations? Like, they must have so much evidence, knowing that he's lawyered up to the hilt.
Right.
Right?
So again, I'm not a lawyer, but I watch them on TV. So in order for that to happen, right, they would have had to have probable cause, which to your point means that they had enough evidence that there was something going on. And I heard that the lawsuit with Cassie, now I had not read any of the briefs or the judgment, but apparently there are some very graphic and very terrible things that came.
And she said her lawyer said she turned over tons of things to the FBI.
So I heard that some of the reason why they raided his properties was because of the things that were uncovered during the Cassie lawsuit. And then after she came out, then other people started coming forward. So like they would have had to have probable cause and then get a warrant to search, because that's like the legal steps that one has to take.
And if they obtain a warrant from the judge, they don't let you know. But I mean, he had
No,
so much
because
time.
you
He
could-
could have
you
already
could-
burned so much evidence.
You
though.
could hide stuff if you know in advance.
But from Cassie's settlement, I would have thought he would have like burned
And he
everything.
might have. He might have. So they confiscated all of his audio-visual equipment. And so...
And they said they couldn't even break into it because the server wasn't anywhere. Like the server was in the cloud. And it's password protected, so I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of it. Yeah,
they
will.
absolutely get it.
But it wasn't readily traced back to some type of like security company or a server inside of the house.
Well, look, he's got tight security.
Yep.
His security person is well known for making things and people disappear
Yes.
that are uncomfortable. You know, there's that shooting in the recording studio.
Yes.
And he totally got off scot-free for that.
Yes, and also too, you guys, his son is accused by former security and hangers-on of shooting somebody at their house and then blaming it on like a drive-by shooting.
Right. And there was that nightclub shooting back in the early 2000s
Yes, when he
with
was with
J-Lo,
J-Lo.
and somebody else, like a flunky of his, took the fall for it. So like
Yep.
up until now, he's been Teflon Diddy.
Yes, but you know, he's suspected of killing Biggie, allegedly, as well as Tupac.
Oof.
And just Tupac went for him, you know, lyrically and rejected, you know, I guess didn't want to be a part of Bad Boy Records and was like, screw them, blah, blah, blah. Lil Wayne, I mean, I don't know. I think he's gotten away with a lot, and I think his
course.
time is up, and this is all alleged. You're innocent until you're proven guilty, but I think he got away with a lot of bad things.
He did, and to your point, why now? Why now?
Because thank God, because of Cassie, like, because I think I think it started with her.
I
It just
hope
takes
so.
one victim. It's like the Me Too movement with Hollywood, right? That took down Epstein. It takes
I
one
get
brave
that.
soul to get over their
I get that,
embarrassment.
but there are a string of murders, a string of dead bodies in his wake.
Yeah. I think it's going to come out.
Oh, absolutely.
Even Kim Porter, anyway, we'll get to that later. The mother of his 3 kids, like people says apparently there's some burner phone with a lot of evidence.
She died under mysterious circumstances.
Very. She
for
was
people
like
who
on a
don't
red
remember that
carpet.
story.
Yeah. And apparently she was building a case too, because you know what he did to Cassie, he probably did to her too, right?
100. But now Diddy, what's he gonna do to Diddy?
I don't know. I think this is not
Because
going
Diddy's
to end.
coming for him. I mean, not Diddy, 50 Cent.
Oh. Oh.
50's been coming for him.
Oh, yeah. He is. And he's coming for Jay-Z too. And he's doing a documentary. So he's going to, you know, interview everybody and try to expose this. But apparently he has a vendetta because one of his baby mamas is like a sex worker.
Allegedly.
Hired alleged sex worker of Diddy's.
I mean,
all the dirt's coming out. Hollywood is gross, you guys.
cesspool. It's disgusting.
Honestly, I'm glad we didn't end up there, boo.
Thank you. We don't want to be famous.
Okay.
We're
We'll
good
just
being D-listers,
We'll just take,
really.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. So when the homes were being raided, the jet was in like, I think, was it in Palm Beach? Then it went to like, from Opelika to Palm Beach, and then it went to LA, and then it went to somewhere in the Caribbean, allegedly, Antigua. So the jet was flying all over the place.
And Antigua, and Diddy did disembark there, has no extradition laws.
No, he was at Opelika, like pacing around because TMZ caught him
Maybe
there.
they were moving something incriminating.
Yeah, what were they moving? Like and honestly, he's being accused of human trafficking, right? Mm-hmm. So
money laundering, I think.
what if people were on that plane? What if files were on that plane? Right. Who and what? Like, you just sent an expensive jet to go flying
what
around?
If guns who shot one of those many people were on the plane? You know what I mean? Evidence.
because things leak. You know, there were
Absolutely.
some leaks.
Yeah.
You don't just send your expensive jet to be flying around 5 places.
What if it was Diddy who piloted that boat in Baltimore that took down the Francis Scott Key Bridge?
Well, people have him. They're like, this is all a you know the conspiracy theories, right?
Well, one of my favorites was, and I think it was from Candace Owen, she's like, Homeland Security didn't go in there to collect evidence. They're hiding evidence.
That's what I was
That
saying.
protects very, like,
I heard that.
prominent people, whether they're politicians, actors, music
pastors.
people, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
And you
what
don't
if
know today.
You don't
That's
know.
it. You
Like I
don't
couldn't say,
know.
Candace, you're full of crap
No,
or
you
whatever. I think she has a point.
I know.
What if they're covering up something bigger to like cover for politicians or whatever? Like what if?
We don't know.
We don't know.
No, queen.
And then how could you abandon your kids? Like you knew this was coming.
Well,
You're
you got
nowhere to
baby
be
mamas.
found. Well, no, because Kim's dead. That's four of the kids. The adopted son Quincy, and then the boy.
Are they all minors?
Well, 2 are minors, so it's like 4 children belong to one mom, and then so he's got like 6 and 2 other baby moms.
Oof.
And so one of his kids, Justin, the mother. Well, the rumor is when they were together, she had an affair with the bodyguard, and the bodyguard went missing, and that son is not his. That's the bodyguard's son. The bodyguard is nowhere to be found. Nobody knows. Nobody asks. Nobody knows.
Oh my Lord! He's like Hugh Hefner. You remember Juliet Watt told us that Hefner would disappear people.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, this stuff gives me the creeps.
I know. And so she and Kimora, his mother of like 4 of his kids, the one who died, Kim Porter, she and Kimora Lee Simmons, whose ex-husband is like
Russell Simmons.
Yes, Russell Simmons, and he knew this day was coming. That's why he's in Bali where there's no extradition clause, because he's accused of rape and drugging minors and whatever. So he liquidated and lives in Bali. He hasn't stepped foot back into the U.S. in I don't know a decade.
Well, you know who Lucian Grange is.
I know. I heard like he and Clive Davis allegedly are the ringleaders of this.
So to our bougie crew,
Mm-hmm.
Lucian Charles Grange was the head of Universal Music, or maybe he still is. His
Yes.
son is married to Nicole Richie.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
he's been named in this lawsuit, and I'm looking at some of the filings right now that is from a guy who posted the court documents on Twitter. So music group Lucian Grange is the most powerful man in music. He was named as an accomplice in the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking lawsuit for alleged claims, including aiding, abetting, and inducing Puffy to run a sex trafficking ring. He was aware of those freak parties where they'd
The freak-offs.
freak-offs where they bring young women, underage women.
And that was like at the heart of Cassie's case where she said she was forced to be the subject of the freak-offs and have sex with all these randos.
So Grange, Motown Records, Love Records, and Universal Music Group, according to this brief, allegedly willfully failed to timely file required tax documents surrounding the funding of these sex trafficking parties with the federal government, because doing so would imperil its ability to profit from the sex trafficking venture. So, I mean, big
Oh my
trouble
God.
for... And Nicole Richie's pregnant with this man's grandchild.
I know, and they look like the
timing.
perfect like old money aesthetic, and so like
Right?
old money and clean chic and all this crap. Oh man,
Ay,
she might have been better off with Dirty Disick.
She might have.
Gosh, at least we know his dirt.
I know. He's
You
so
know?
skinny now. He
God,
doesn't
was
look good.
No, and he's a handsome fellow.
He is. He got too fat. Now he's too skinny.
I know. They
Story
said
of my life.
They said it's the Ozempic face, but I don't know. It looks like
don't
he looks
know.
hollowed out.
I know.
Looks like druggy stuff.
Yeah, that's
Alleged.
right.
That's just what the pundits
Oh
are
my
saying.
God. Can we talk about Usher and Diddy before we go to break?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
So Usher, as we were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
when he was 13, lived with Sean Puffy Combs, a.k.a. Diddy.
He had like custodial rights over Usher.
What kind of
Mama
parents?
Usher.
I know, Mama
They're
Usher.
so close.
Mama
like, I
Usher.
know your kid has a dream, but lady, come on.
Talk about stage mom.
You're gonna like sign your kid off over to Diddy?
So the clip of Usher on Howard Stern's show was just circulating, where he was talking about seeing things that a child shouldn't see.
Yes.
And he was welcome to partake in whatever partying was going on at that mansion. And when Howard Stern asked Usher, who's now a father, would you let your kids go live with Diddy? And he's like, no.
Hell no.
And then allegedly, you had said that he was sexually abused.
Yes, that's what one of the security people are saying, that Usher allegedly had to be taken to a hospital with rectal bleeding, and it's crazy. I mean, and he was like, how could Usher, the security person was saying, how can Usher just say he gives this man a pass?
Right.
Like, that's what he said. Like, I'm just going to give him a pass. Like, he was
well,
like,
he might have the tapes of Usher as a young man doing God knows what.
Maybe, probably blackmail stuff.
Right.
But Usher was like, this man is the reason why I still can't sleep at night to this day.
Holy shit.
He said that. And the guy was like, how can you just give him a pass? And then how can you sign a young, green, Canadian Justin Bieber, who's not...
there's been rumors for ages that boy was abused as a child.
He's got some... Oh, that poor thing.
No wonder he's so damaged. You're right.
And so he wasn't with Diddy for an extended period of time, but there's tons of video footage with him, this little baby face or whatever. He spent 3 days at Puff's Flavor Camp. And he was like, oh yeah, it's going to be a ball. He's going to see some things, like turn him from a boy into a man, like turn this little boy out. Probably took his virginity with prostitutes,
for sure.
orgies, who knows what.
It's so sick. I mean,
It's
more
so
and more, it's
sad.
becoming clear that Hollywood and even our U.S. government operate on sexual blackmail.
I know, it's so sad, but protect the kids. God,
I know, that's
dang
a
it.
thing.
People protect your children. Like,
That's what gets me. Like, all these people who are alleged sex, traffickers and child sexual abusers, except for Epstein, have children themselves.
They do.
The fajuk.
It's crazy. Anyway, we need a break from all this grime.
Child. I need some holy water.
Yes.
After the break, more shady grime on Diddy the Diddler. Welcome back to Crazy Rich Neighbors, and we got Diddy under a microscope. So producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones, hired to produce Puffy's latest album, Love, sued the 50-year-old and is asking for $30 million in damages after accusing Diddy of, guess what, sex trafficking, abuse, forced drug use, fraud, and sexual assault. And he accuses the son, Justin, of shooting someone. But that seems to be like de rigueur in the Diddy camp.
Yes, just getting away with things. So all this alleged multiple sexual assault allegations from males, women, and minors is actually hitting Diddy where it really hurts, okay?
Mm-hmm.
His family, his ego, his star quality, his life of bougie party vibes, his brands, and his money, honey. So after settling his lawsuit against beverage licensing company Diageo, the music mogul will no longer have any ties. He no longer has any ties to Ciroc vodka or De Leon tequila brands. Okay, relinquishing 50% stake in each.
But before rejoicing that justice was served, the deal that lasted more than a decade with the spirits giant claimed in a court filing that Combs had been paid nearly $1 billion through their partnership. Rolling Stone reported that 18 brands ended their partnership with the mogul's Empower Global project, which is an e-commerce platform that focuses on uplifting Black-owned companies. I mean, what a shame.
That's terrible.
That his ish cast such a pallor on this organization.
Yes, terrible. He had to pay Cassie upward of $30 million in a flash.
You know that he was keeping that under wraps.
And she wanted a trial by jury, honey.
Good for I give her so many props. Yes, and one of the commentators on the news said that his paying her such a large settlement was most likely indicative of the veracity of her claims.
He knows what he did, and he knows, and she had evidence. You know.
Yes.
Oh God, he's put his homes and his teenage daughter's names and money in his mother's name. Okay. But this psychic Sloan Bella who predicted this takedown to the month
Is she the
this
blonde
year,
lady?
Sloan Bella, who says she's communicating with Kim Porter, who's telling her everything, and she said that something with her nasal sinus nasal spray
I just
is
took
what
that
did her
before I got
is
here.
what did her in something in that nasally.
Oh my God.
But apparently November, like October, November, around his birthday period or whatever, is going to be something even bigger. And Jay-Z's up next, according to Sloan Belly, y'all. Oh, and Usher and Diddy are going down, and many others. Okay, not Diddy, Usher, and Justin Bieber,
What about Jay-Z?
and Jay-Z is up next.
People are saying Jay-Z. I don't know if there's anything to
Allegedly.
that or not. Allegedly.
They're saying that he's worse than Diddy. I mean, these men have a history, allegedly, of dating women that were way underaged. Okay, if you just look back at Aaliyah and her death, and this mysterious death of a woman that got pregnant when he was having an affair on Beyonce that just disappeared. It is like, this is a movie.
First of all,
A movie.
you disappear a woman. Big crime. Second of all, who the fizzook cheats on Fizzook and Beyonce?
Child, the models is get cheated on. Child.
My God.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just looking up to see if there's an autopsy conducted on Kim Porter. It does not seem like there was. Her death was just assumed to be pneumonia.
Exactly.
So, isn't that convenient?
Yes, very.
Oh my
Just
God.
like everything else.
This is
buried.
so scary and so icky. I feel like I need to sage myself after this.
I know.
Mm-mm-mm.
But there are other residents going down.
Really? Like who?
Okay, so Brother Love's alleged drug mule was arrested at Miami airport amid the home raids. He was accused of providing drugs for Diddy and his pals and for drugging unsuspected victims. Combs' alleged drug mule, Brandon Paul, has been arrested on cocaine and marijuana possession felony charges. So according to an arrest affidavit obtained by People, Paul, 25, a former Syracuse University basketball player, was taken into custody at Opa-locka Airport by Miami-Dade police working alongside Homeland Security agents.
So let's talk about Young Miami, a young hip hop artist. Her real name is Carisha Romika Brown Lee, former member of the rap duo City Girls and host of the podcast Carisha Plays.
Yes.
She was a Diddy recent ex-girlfriend. They appeared together at the Met Gala, which is big money. So Young Miami is being accused of serious crimes in connection to Diddy and his legal issues. So an amended lawsuit from Rodney Lil Rod Jones says that the 30-year-old City Girls rapper transported pink cocaine, never heard of it, or Tucci for the music mogul. I mean, I'm so out of it. I don't know what any of this is.
We don't do drugs.
I've never even seen white cocaine, okay? Much less pink. So in the additional 25 pages of the filing, Lil Rod claims that Combs enjoys using pink cocaine, otherwise known as a combination of ecstasy and cocaine. Okay.
What?
So that was allegedly supplied by his drug mule, Brendan Paul. So Jones alleges that he personally witnessed Diddy using cocaine in the dressing room while rehearsing Pharrell's Something in the Water Festival in Virginia, where Diddy made a surprise appearance. So Sean Combs wanted Tucci, but Brendan forgot it. I mean, so thoughtless. So defendant Christina Karam called Young Miami, who then brought it in on a PJ
Could
from
you imagine?
MIA.
Could you imagine?
You're a total addict asshole when you need someone.
You just on your private jet.
You're gonna spend $50K to have your pink Coke.
But a lot of
flown
these alleged players like Little Rod and Young Miami are accused of being pimps, like going into like local strip clubs with bad boy hats and trying to recruit sex workers. Like they knew when they would see the hats, like come, it's freak off time, come, you're gonna get paid or whatever. Go to the mansion and do whatever. It's like they're pimps.
My God, I mean, this whole thing, it gives me chills and it makes me sick all at the same time.
It's crazy. But Young Miami went off on Diddy after he stopped giving her those monthly $500K a month checks.
Dang, Gina.
Okay. So sources claim that Diddy decided to reduce his financial support for Young Miami after he faced allegations of rape and sex trafficking from his former employee. Her Carisha Please podcast it's also on a network that he formerly owned, Revolt TV.
Probably called Revolting TV.
Yes, child. But you guys, before we end this grimy, crime-filled episode, let's take a moment to talk about the seriousness of human trafficking, a grave violation of human rights involving the illegal trade of people for exploitation of or commercial gain.
Or other gain,
yes.
which, could be political gain.
Exactly. So globally it affects
Southern border comes to mind.
Yeah, child. Globally it affects millions, okay, with victims being forced into labor, sex work, or other forms of servitude.
I mean, I serve my dog. Does that make me?
Girl.
Just kidding. No, it's nothing to joke about, seriously. But it's very lucrative because these traffickers, you sell a bag of Coke, for instance. That's one off. You sell a human being, you can sell that same human over and over and over again. It's disgusting. It's heartless. I just can't believe this ish happens in our world.
I know. That is still going on, right?
It's still going on. Everybody keep your eyes and your ears peeled when you're on planes, in any sort of transportation hubs, at nightclubs, strip clubs if you go.
Yes.
I mean, if you see something, say something.
Amen, sister.
Dang.
Yes, and report it to the authorities and contact, I think every country, every city has a national human trafficking hotline. Contact them.
Lord have mercy.
Help. Cleanse us, Jesus.
What I thought was so interesting, I just have one more thing to say about this, is when I was watching the news coverage of this, somebody said, or that an authority in New York, he was a former member of the hip hop squad in the NYPD.
What?
So there was a whole division of the NYPD devoted to hip hop.
Yes.
And the drug culture, the sex crimes, and violence, gun violence.
And all these hip hop artists came. Many of them literally came from gangs, from the East Coast and West Coast. It's so. Whew.
Oh my God, my Bougie Bible pick seems so frivolous.
Oh, girl,
please
give us a break.
But it is something really fun.
Sounds cute.
It's a news store I discovered recently called Swoozies, and they're all over the country. The one closest to us is in Palm Beach Gardens, and Swoozies has the cutest gifts and stationery and fun place settings and just beautiful things. So if you need a graduation gift, a housewarming gift, they personalize a lot of stuff. They have a whole personalization shop. If you know someone who's getting married, they have really fun wedding favors and wedding gifts, graduation gifts. I'm just literally obsessed with this place. It's my new go-to gifting source.
Cute.
If I don't go to Palm Beach Gardens, I'll just buy it on their website.
Yes.
It's SWOOZIES.com. And it's just a really fun little store.
We'll have to check it out. And my pick is the movie Sound of Freedom. That's keeping in theme with our human trafficking. Okay, it's really good. Have you seen it?
I have.
It was good, right?
It was so good.
It's starring Jim Caviezel, and it's based on the true story of Tim Ballard, the former Department of Homeland Security Special Agent who has devoted himself to fighting child sex trafficking and who took his crusade private when he founded the Operation Underground Railroad, and it was a really great movie that it was pretty heartbreaking.
It is, and what's even more heartbreaking and disturbing is the political backlash that stirred up. I mean,
I remember
there
that.
are so many people who gave the makers of this film and Tim Ballard himself a whole bag of ish.
Yes.
And how can you not be for protecting children from sexual abuse and women and people who cannot stand up for themselves? I just didn't understand that politicization of this film.
No.
It's unwarranted.
Yes.
And either you get on board with protecting kids or you're a scumbag.
Or you don't. Exactly. I agree. When and I remember before I watched it, because there was so much drama around it. Why were people so against it? It's crazy.
Darling, I don't know.
Okay, I know it was produced by I think Glenn Beck or whatever, but who cares? It really.
I mean, who cares?
Who
It's a true
cares?
story, and like,
and it's about somebody doing good, okay, to protect
exactly.
the most innocent,
and making us all aware
Yes.
of what is happening.
Yes, it made me think
So-
about it. It made me more aware, you know. So kudos to them.
Exactly.
That's all we got, people.
Yes, Queen. Share this ish with your favorite fat bitch.
Follow us on your flavored podcasts platform to never miss an episode.
Follow us on the gram at Crazy Rich Neighbors Podcast. We're on YouTube. We got the Crazy Rich Neighbors channel. Subscribe, por favor. And you can find us on Facebook at CRN Podcast.
Email us at info@crazyrichneighbors.com.
And remember, if you have to ask who your crazy neighbor is,
It's probably you.
And Diddy.
Oh, yeah, child. Definitely Diddy.
Be good.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.